Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Small Engine Velocity. And as you can tell from the title, we are going to attempt a third time on a cup holder for the Honda Ruckus. This has been somewhat of an obsession of mine. This is a third or fourth iteration of something for holding a drink while you're riding on your Honda Ruckus. I always have a habit of over-engineering things, and I really wasn't gonna make this video, but I decided to go ahead and share my obsessive compulsive ideas when it comes to making a cup holder. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll remember that the very first cup holder I had bought was from Amazon, and it was for mountain bikes, and you clip it on the back. I'll put that video right here. It's very old, so be kind. I made that on my lunch break at work once. And then, of course, you know the other two cup holders I made consecutively, the rear part that goes under the seat, and then the one that goes in the front. The one that goes under the seat had like a little cup holder area that you put it in. Other companies have made this one before. My take on it was that it had a retaining clip across the top to hold that cup in. Not a huge change on what other people had, but I wanted to do something different. Then we made the front cup holder for the front frame, and it wasn't a cup holder. It held Monster cans, Coke cans, the 16-ounce water bottles. It was a little bit limited as to what you could carry, but to me it was more of the artistic creation of these things to put on your bike that would look super special. So now we come to the third iteration, but before we begin that, let's go ahead and roll that intro. So the third iteration of this was going to be 3D printed. So I took Fusion 360, I went ahead and sketched something up, took some measurements, sketched something up, and then went ahead and 3D printed it. Now, I made this for a specific Arctic cup. I'll try to put it right here. It is I think it's a 16 or a 20-ounce cup. It has a handle and a lid. And when you open the lid, you can sip it, or there's enough space to put a straw in. And that was key to me, because then you could take the cup and put it underneath your helmet to take a drink from your cup. So before I spent all this money on the materials to print this, which it really wasn't that expensive, I went ahead and printed one in white just to get the fitment of the design for the cup whenever it goes into the slot. And that worked out great. It worked out wonderfully. So I went ahead and printed it in black, which is in a PETG material. So it's very durable. It's also food safe, FDA approved, but who cares? I'm not gonna really eating off of it, but it has a high heat temperature and it doesn't flex. If I left it out in the sun all day long, it's not gonna melt on the bike like PLA would. Ideally, it would have been nylon, but I don't know how to print nylon yet. So once I got that design done, I went ahead and took some TPU flexible material, and I created a gasket underneath the cup holder so that while it's sitting on the gap cover that I also made to keep it from vibrating against there or making any type of rattling sound. I made it about 3 mil thick, and it's also black, so it kind of blends in with the whole thing. You can't really tell that there's a gasket underneath there. Once I was able to find some bolts, the bolts I used was an 8 mil or a 10 mil, I can't remember, an M10. Put it through. I used a bolt on the other end and a lock washer. Of course, I got the matching looking Allen wrench ones that fit on the top, and I put it together. It looked pretty good. So I went ahead, kind of played around with it, made sure that I felt like it would have been stable enough, and I went ahead and installed it on the bike. So let's go to that footage now. All right, guys, here is the final evolution of the over-engineered version 3 cup holder. So it sits right here in the middle. Reason that I can use my gap cover is because mine is plate steel as opposed to thin aluminum that bends easily. This sucker is strong, so it can pivot off of this point right here. If it was actually all the way down, because right now I have tank spacers, it might be a little bit better, but since I'm using this steel, it's good. I got some Allen bolts, nuts on the other end with lock washers, and I was able to put this on here really well. Now, It fits nice and neat inside of here. It doesn't turn. The cup is useful because you can open it, and when you open it, you can put a straw. It has a cover so it doesn't splash. So if I put it in here and I have a straw, I can fit it through my helmet and then put it back down again. How awesome is that? Now, you may be wondering, okay, so, that doesn't sound like it might rattle a little bit. So the solution for that rattle is what you saw earlier, which is this SEV spacer that I 3D printed that fits below on the bottom. Not sure if you can see that down there, but it fits down there so that it has a little bit of a padding down there. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Caesar, you like to drink Monsters. What in the world are you gonna do? Well, I just happen to have a Monster right here. Oh my gosh, wow. So, the question is, what can you fit in here as far as a Monster? Well, it can go in here, but it's a little bit loose. So, what I did was, I also over-engineered this issue, and I built an adapter sleeve. And now you can fit the Monster in the adapter sleeve. And now it stays still and doesn't spill well, I mean, as long as you drank half of it, it won't spill everywhere. But if you decide you're gonna ride when you need the adapter sleeve, go for it. Now, also, on the bottom, if you notice, it also says SEV on the bottom. My wife thinks I went crazy overboard on this project, but of course, I have this obsession with cup holders. So, yeah, there it is. All right, well, there you go. It's got a steel plate, basically, that it's bolted to. It's got gaskets underneath for vibration. Another one that goes underneath the cup holder. It's got an adapter if you want to use a Monster instead of the cup that I designed it for. And it has SEV logos on the inside. I don't think I mentioned this in there also, but I did create a slot on the bottom, so if it did rain or you were washing it, water got into the cup holder, it would drain out through the bottom. At the same time, it's also a hole, so when you put the cup inside the slot, air can rush out and it's not gonna take forever for the cup holder. It doesn't feel like you're pushing an air plunger or something like that. So there you go, over-engineered cup holder. I promised you an over-engineered cup holder, and that's what I delivered. So, please, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. If you think it's a good idea, dumb idea, or if there's any kind of improvements I can make, because absolutely I will redo it if I have to, or if someone has a better idea for me to put on there to make it a better thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take two. First time I forgot to turn the mic on. Hey everybody, and the dog did a weird flippy flip thing as soon as I started, and it distracted me. All right, here we go.